It's Pete from Cheap Homesteading, and I'm in the garage today, and I'm working on the Massey 231. Today we're going to install the injectors, the injector lines, probably put the water pump on, and a few things on the front end of the motor, because I'm really wanting to get this back in this tractor. So there you go, we got the injector holes. I'm going to use a wire brush and clean that up. And that one there still has the washer, so we're going to remove that. In here you have these little brass washers that seal the injector to the head. You got to get them out, put new ones in. And a lot of times they're really stuck in there and you'll have to try to get a hook and pull them out. A lot of times though, you can just push down with a screwdriver, a fairly big screwdriver, and they will just come out. So this is a CAV style injector brush, and it's meant to clean out the hole in the head where your injectors go in. A lot of times it gets really rusty. You should clean it out and put some anti-seize on it. And then if it's not you, it'll be someone else can get it out easier. When you install the injectors, make sure you put anti-seize on the injectors. I have seen many CAV style injectors that are seized in the head. Very difficult. You're afraid you're going to break the thing off somehow. So just put some anti-seize on them when you put them in. At least you're helping the next guy, or maybe it'll be you taking him out the next time and you wish someone did that. So just put them on the injectors. I don't know if this Massey can handle it. I'm going to be putting this John Deere anti-seize on. It's all the same stuff anyways. There we go. These are the top seals. We're going to slide that up there. Okay, so the Reliance kit came with injector washers. That is one of the things they made sure they had, so that was pretty good. So you drop it down in. You make sure that they're sitting flat. When I disassembled it, I marked the cylinder it came out of. And you really should put them back in the same cylinders. That's cylinder 2. You know, I don't really know why people say that, but because they're all like, this is just one part number. It's not like different ones for each one. So this is 3. So that goes here. And this should be 1, and it is. Okay, so I'm going to shove down my rubber into the hole. I'm going to put a dab of loctite on the threads. These nuts don't have lock washers, and you just torque them. I looked in the manual, and they don't have a specific torque for the injectors that I can see anyways. And these bolts and these nuts have been set to 28.6 or something, so 29 pretty well the whole way through the rebuild. So we're going to torque this to about 29 foot-pounds. So you kind of tighten them up evenly. Okay, so that one there is torqued. And you want to make sure when you torque them down that you do it evenly. Go back and forth. Because you want that injector to sit flat on the bottom, pushing on that brass washer. One more to go. So now we had all the injector lines finger tight, so now we're going to tighten them all up. If you don't start them all before you start tightening them up, you might not be able to move this line a little bit to make it fit. So you get them all hand tight and then tighten them up. So we're going to tighten up the top ones. I am getting pretty happy. I see an end coming. We get all the injector lines on, get the bell housing, and we're almost ready to install this thing. I'll be pretty happy. And then we're gonna have to dig out the old Massey 50 out of the snowbank and then get it in the garage again. Because I have quite a bit of work I have to do to that one, because I want it to be usable by spring, because it needs to be able to lift the loader. I put the valve on last year, but I don't have enough hydraulics to lift it, so there you go. So now we're going to install the return pipe. We're going to install the fuel filter and water separator. This is a water separator, and water is heavier than the fuel. So the water will start collecting at the bottom, and you open the tap and you drain it out. If you don't, water getting up into the injectors can damage the injectors and everything. So you always got to watch and see if there's a line starting, like it's collecting water. And then you got to drain it off before it gets in the injectors. I'm not going to tighten these nuts until I have all the lines sitting on there, at least hand tight anyways. Okay, so this one here is your return line from your injector, and it goes back into your filter housing. Okay, so that line comes over and it goes into this little heating element, and it's basically puts power to it, and it allows it to basically allow smoke to go into the engine, so it's easier to start in the cold. We're just going to leave that loose for now and finish putting our lines on. Okay, so we got this line on. Okay, so this line goes into the very front of the pump and goes into this port. Okay, I'm going to tighten up my filter housing. This job has taken longer the whole way through. I like finding the parts to pulling it apart and everything. It just took way longer. And then some gaskets not in the kit and everything. So the more parts that get on this thing is getting me closer to getting this back together and out of my garage. So right now I'm starting to see some progress, but before it just seemed like I was working on it and I was never getting done. So it is definitely on an upswing. So there you go, the injectors are installed, the return lines, the fuel filter, everything is ready to go. So that is about enough for tonight, and you guys have a good one.